also want to be like quick.
Yeah. Every other day I have an EB5 conversation, but like, and like we make more money on EB5, but like I want you to get the result faster. I'm not going to tell you to do something that I want to do. That was my big issue with EB5. I used to work in 2014, I worked in EB5. And that's why I started Visa franchise because I discovered other Visa options for investors. I discovered the E2. Unfortunately, India doesn't have it, but there were all these people that you could invest 80K and move to the US. Where are you two originally from?
India.
Okay. And that hence the EB5, the only option left.
Yeah.
Are you on H1Bs or what's your current status?
Yeah. Currently, an H1B.
Okay. How'd you find out about us, by the way?
So I was like looking at like EB5 options, and like basically I wanted to do like more direct rather than
Yeah.
regional centers. In that case, it is just like giving as a debt for like 5 years.
It could be 3 years, it could be 10 years. It's hard to tell.
So yeah, that was the reason I was looking for, and I like found this because I was looking at like businesses directly, but like those seemed very tricky to like navigate through, and like franchisees can be a better option. That is what I thought when just exploring like what are the ways like I can do a franchisee and EB5. I found you guys. So
Nice. Have either of you owned a business before?
no,
Okay. And do you both work for like big companies, small companies?
like Amazon and
Okay. I was going to guess Amazon with the Seattle connection. And would either of you be able to work in the business day to day?
so yeah, I currently actually like moved last year to H4.
Okay. Anything that piques your interest? Like what could you see yourself doing?
Initially we were like more interested in like food related business, but then like we realized like that might not be the best option. Like there could be other options, so we started exploring more, and we also saw like at some mailing and shipping type of businesses, or like
I think the tough thing is the job creation. They don't create many jobs for those type of businesses.
yeah, we were trying to see different types of businesses, but we didn't know like going to just start a business versus like a business that can qualify for EB5. That is very different, right? So that is where we were stuck, and like
Okay. And do you have kids? Do you have pets? Just
not currently.
okay. Because there's businesses in both those fields that could be a good fit for EB5.
Yeah, I think like we were also exploring like daycare businesses, because like my wife is really interested in those kind of business, senior care, or like some kind of like
Nice.
where we can take care of people as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah, senior care is great, and we've had clients also invest in child care businesses as well. Have you already filed for a green card?
Yeah, so we have both filed for like we have priority dates for like our employment based green cards.
Okay. What's the date?
For me, it's April 2021.
Okay.
Yeah, I think mine was around 2022.
Yeah, but mine is EB3 and his is EB2.
Yeah,
That's the
so we
only
both are
difference.
filed in like different.
Differently.
Yeah, so we can use that date because what we're going to have to do is we'll have to have you invest in a rural or a high unemployment area to be able to meet the criteria.
So we are actually in like the Linwood area for Seattle, near Mount Lake Terrace. I was able to find like some high employment areas right near our place.
Okay, so that's good. Did you guys already look at like EB1A out of curiosity?
We kind of looked, but like haven't like been like really serious about that one, because I think for that scenario, like in our fields, like because we are in computer science, and like that is overall like very competitive for EB1s.
If you don't mind me asking, because we do a good amount of EB1s as well as O1, the non-immigrant category. And for me, like a lot of it falls into like basically if you're able to hit the salary requirement, that's like a really nice one. And then a lot of the other ones can hit in place. Would you say you're like, do you guys make like 200K, 300K, 100K?
Around like 300 plus.
Okay. So what do you get in terms of salary? Do you want to go through this exercise? I just want to we can help you with EB5 and we've done EB5 cases, but it's just like a long endeavor. And like, if we can help secure a green card for you, and maybe we do both in parallel. I don't know.
That is something we would be open to like both in parallel, because like she qualifies more for like EB1.
Yeah. And you want to get a business anyways. So it's like, we can try to get the EB1A, put our best foot forward, and in parallel do the business. And then if you don't need the EB5 for the business, okay, great, that's fine. But you continue doing the franchise business.
Yeah, I think that is
Yeah.
something that would be most optimal for us.
Yeah, there's another Indian couple that were looking to do that's less qualified just based on the salary amount of not hitting the 300K plus. But it's something that I would do where it's like the nice thing with EB1A, you have it, you use the priority date from the EB3 and you can port it to the EB1 and you're current and you get the green card and there's no like temporary green card with the EB5. You got to show job creation, you have to show the full investment after 2 years. So I think for you guys, it would be nice just to like lock down the green card and then you can focus on business and other activities.
That makes more sense
Yeah.
for us. Like, yeah, we would like to see if that works for us.
Okay. Is it fine if I just start walking through some criteria?
Yeah.
So what do you get paid in like salary and then what is bonus and is there any stocks awarded?
Almost around 200K in salary, like in base salary,
Okay.
around 130 to 150 depending on the stock price as the bonus.
Nice. I think at 350 all in, like there's a nice case to be made where we would leverage different data, including from government sources, as well as companies like talent.com that have, hundreds based on 1,200 salaries in the Seattle area. So it looks like you would hit that. Could you tell me a little bit about your role? Like, what do you do at Amazon?
I'm a software engineer. We build various products for AWS. So I come in under AWS. There are two parts, right? Amazon.com, which is retail, but I'm on the cloud side where I do like I build services on AWS basically.
Can you think of anything critical you worked on? Any like committees, AWS related?
I am also part of Women of AWS Association, something like that. So I am part of that team. I'm leading the technical development side of that team.
Cool. So this will have to dig in further and then seek with your colleagues like to provide evidence like through support letters that will help draft. Our team will draft.
Through her manager, her skip manager, and like all of them can probably help support that letter.
Okay. Well, I think we can dig out some things here for the leading or critical role. We're working on at least one other Amazon case for EB1A. And then have you written any articles? It could be, on major media, trade publications, or scholarly articles.
No, I mean, whatever we roll out as a product, we do write like AWS articles or AWS post on LinkedIn, which has my name on it, but not as such like being published in some.
Yeah, and that'd be internal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very large company. I shouldn't say internal, but it's the company blog, which could show. Yeah, we could. I'd have to check with our attorney to see if that might be eligible. Any original scientific work you can think of or business related contributions?
No,
And then, have you been asked to judge the work of others, either individually or on a panel?
No, not.
Okay. Well, I think we can probably find some panels for you to judge. Like it could be women in tech, startup competitions, and then a member of any associations, or have you been a member of an association like IEEE?
No, not IE, but mostly around. There's a Grace Hopper celebration that happens. So I'm like a member of Anita B. Or
How exclusive is it? Can anyone sign up?
yes, I think since I go for these conferences, I automatically become a member for a year.
Okay. I wonder if you could do something more exclusive with them, like be part of some steering committee or.
yeah, I think she can like try because
Yeah.
I think she's already part of like Amazon's member, so like they would take it as a experience and like allow her to join.
Maybe we leverage this as like a stepping stone to be like to hit some of the other criteria. Potentially they have a media portal like blogs that you can write articles for, you're featured in that, or there's a more exclusive membership tier that you serve on a committee if there's any rewards or prizes. Basically it looks like we could work together over like the next 3 to 6 months to try to hit like 4 or 5 of these, where right now you have like 1, 2, maybe 2.5, but we'd want you to apply with like 5 because you should have 3 of 8. And well, there's 10, but some of these are like for artists. It's essentially 8 criteria for you. And I think it's probably going to take like 3 to 6 months. We could, work together and provide you the list, find awards for you to apply for, competitions to judge, we'll work together. It's going to take a lot of our time and a lot of your time, but if you're willing to do that, like we'll roll up our sleeves and put your best foot forward to apply for the EB1A. But I think you have a good basis. Like the salary is nice because it locks in. It's hard to argue against that because there's a ton of data available, like what software developers get paid in Seattle, and your total comp is quite high for a software developer. It might not seem like that because you're in Amazon and you're at a very top company, but you got to compare it to everyone, not just people that work for the FANG type tech companies, but any software developer in Seattle. So
Yeah.
you have a good base. It will take time. Like some of our clients come in and they already have publications, like they already hit like 4 of them or 5, and then we can be like, okay, let's get this in, in the next 3 months. But for you, it'd probably take, I would say, like 3 to 6 months to really build up a solid application. We'd be happy to help you with the EB1A, and basically for that we charge, and includes the attorney fee, and that includes all the prep, the I-140. It sounds like you're probably already good with the PR, which is good, and you can save money there. And then we'll focus on the associations and the other criteria that we can help you enhance.
Yeah, I think like I would also like to share like my profile as well.
Yeah, please share.
So I used to work for Apple for like around 5 years.
Nice.
A lot of the things that I've worked on, I haven't attached the articles on LinkedIn yet, but a lot of the projects that I worked on, they already have like media articles like which are showing those products.
Good. And you can have like probably a former colleague write about it.
Yeah, because when you talked about those things, that's when I was just thinking.
You were thinking about yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this happens. Oftentimes there's a couple and one might be a better fit for EB1A, or both are pretty good, or maybe one's EB2 NAW if one was more like science and health related. The nice thing too is they changed the requirements for the EB1A. What was it, in October, where they basically made it a little looser in terms of like what would qualify, where it could be team awards, it could be past memberships. They don't have to show your name. So, we can tie that back. If they write your name, it's better. But if we can do it through support letters that you were critical to that product and you worked on it, that should work. And then what was the highest pay you received in the last like 5 years?
Just talking about like W2, I think around 310, 320.
Okay, solid. And then you also had stocks awarded.
Yeah, that is including the stocks and stuff.
Including the stocks.
The W2 income.
Oh yeah, so it shows up when stock. Okay, cool. All right, so yeah, you should hit it as well.
My current pay is like, just with cash, it is like 290, and on top of that,
okay,
including the bonus, like.
Yeah, you should hit that. And then listening to me going through with your wife, what other ones, can you think of any, critical role that you served?
I think at Apple, I worked on like a couple of like projects that I would say like I was like critical part of it, because I was owning major parts of it.
Great.
And those products, like including like one like which was recently released for Apple Intelligence, and like
Sick.
they are like very recent, like within the last year. Like I can also share like articles which are online. And yeah, the reason I said like probably I haven't qualified, because Apple gets a lot of more media attention around its.
It's consumer focus, and AWS is B2B. It's easier. Yeah. So we could potentially show that you were a critical role to some of those like key products that generated, 500 mil, billion, whatever. And then also original business contribution, because Apple rolls out, it's something that's innovative, it's new, other companies emulate it. So probably there's some things.
Like when I was at Apple, they had filed a patent around it, but like I haven't like circled back on whether it was actually approved or not. So like that is one thing like I need to probably like confirm with my manager. I can get anecdotes that it was novel and it was like used but internally, but they are like Apple properties, so like cannot be shared like directly with like everyone.
That makes sense. And then how about some of the other ones like authorship articles, membership in organizations?
I haven't authored like any articles.
Okay. Probably with your relationships in India, you could go into some press.
That is something which can be like publications, and like.
You think you'll be able to hit those too hard?
That I would be able to get.
Nice. We basically have our whole platform is we have our in-house attorney who manages our client service team, which is like an 8-person group, maybe 9 now actually. But Joaquin is our in-house attorney, and he has a great track record of EB1As. And our team, we review the documentation, and then we schedule a call with Joaquin and then a couple external attorneys we almost act as like a general contractor. So we take your case, we get all the information, and then we have a network of attorneys. Like last year, we did filings with about 20 different immigration attorneys. So for us, we have to see who has a track record of doing a good job. If not, they're out of our network. And then who has capacity? Who's going to move fast? Because we don't want to be blocking. So sometimes we have to shut the attorneys off because we give them 5, 10, 15 cases. They start stalling, so we cut them off. Or there's certain attorneys that are really good with EB1As, especially with technologists. So we go to that attorney. But the key is they have to be able to have capacity. So we're constantly judging that. Basically, we do a lot of the work and preparing the petitions, the support letters, and everything, and then the attorneys helping with the strategy of the case and doing the actual filing. So we work together as a team, and then behind the scenes, we have a whole team that's doing the research with the association matching, the judging competitions, everything else that's going to go in to helping you get the EB1A.
Would it make sense to like try to file for both of us for EB1 or like just one, or like what do you think would be the best strategy in this scenario?
We had a client from Pakistan who we were doing both, and then it was just like, let's get your EB1A first, and then let's do premium processing, and then like we can always switch later on. Thinking out loud, like I can bring this back internally and we decide, or we start collecting the paperwork for both of you guys. And then we decide together after like 2 or 3 weeks, like we could be helping, like doing initial feedback in terms of associations to join and a few items, but we're more focused on one of you. I would say that could work well. We can present both of your cases to multiple attorneys for feedback, and then we collectively decide who it's going to be.
Yeah.
So usually after we file EB1A, the priority date for
Oh, that's another important thing.
Yes, I was saying since mine is 2021 and EB1 is currently 2022. So will it be like a current filing for me?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, you get the I-140 approved and then do an adjustment of status most likely.
Yeah, so I think like it would make more sense for her.
Yeah, because you're what? You're 2023 or later 2022?
December 2022.
Okay. What you just have to decide is like, so you're getting paid pretty well. One big benefit of entrepreneurship is that you can, you could run a lot of expenses, deductions, like equipment, like you can save a lot. You can like save a lot in your tax bill having a small business, especially, where you guys are. We can look, but I mean, the best opportunity is our clients have done the best. Like they're willing to work full time in the business, maybe not right away, but like once the business gets open, they might work full time in it for 12, 18 months to really like make sure that the everything's set up well and that basically just everything's in place and that it's going to scale appropriately and you set the culture of the business. This is just an example. Options for Senior America. I've had a few clients invest with them. Their co-owner is a son of Indian immigrants. He went to UPenn and he bought the company with another partner. And they're doing really well. They have 20 US locations, about 100K investment. They're growing quite a lot and they're very transparent in terms of the sales, like by month and then, by year, and how you scale up and the margin. So they run at a pretty high EBITDA margin. This is for owner operators. So that's the thing, like you could expect to be making about the same, but this might take like 4 years to hit that. So the first year, maybe you're making, just 30K or 40K. And then the second year you're making more. So that's what we have to decide together. Like, does it make sense for you?
For me, I'm in a state right now that like I can probably like give like more time for at least like 3 to 4 months. Apart from that, like on the weekends and like after hours, like I'm ready to like stretch a little for like
Okay.
year or two until like I get the processes in order, and then like it can probably run through the manager or something like that.
Awesome.
One of the reasons that I moved to H4 is because I want to like start a business, and like we were looking at a bunch of businesses already locally. The problem is that like if it's a completely new business and we are going in first time, we don't want to just go right in and like see, because we don't know what issues we might face, right?
Definitely. Yeah, you're coming in hot. Like you buy an existing business, like you have to maintain the employees, you have to like do your own culture, and then you can just start bleeding money because usually the sales dip a bit with the transition, and yeah, this could be a better fit for you. And then you can also do like some software consulting work. So yeah, what I propose is like we do the EB1A, and then you retain us for franchise search and analysis, and we're basically your advisor that's digging through. My brother and I own the largest database of franchise opportunities. We have like almost 7,000, of which 3,400 have pretty good financials for. But we could basically do a search, and we're analyzing opportunities together, and we're working together for you to buy a franchise. And then over the next, say, 4 months, we'll have a good idea if it's something that really should create the 10 jobs or not. And if it's something that doesn't need to create the 10 jobs, you have more flexibility. Or if it's something that maybe it has to create the 10 jobs, like you have clothing resale businesses, which are great, or pet grooming business is great, but you're going to need 2 locations. So maybe you just do 1 location. Like I have a client, he lives in Idaho. He opened a Wolfgang Bakery, and it's a great business. And I think for you guys, it could be nice tax efficiency.
Even for EB5, we were like thinking like initially whenever we are looking to buy a business, it's like first couple of years like we are fine with a little bit of like with the deductions, it is fine if
Exactly.
because of our W2 incomes we can just deduct them.
Exactly. Yeah. Save the taxes.
Probably like longer term we would try to like get it more profitable, and like
Yes.
one of us can leave a job and like focus full time on that.
Yeah, no, it's great.
What is the timeline we usually look at like for collecting the documents, and like based on like your previous experience, like
So we onboard you. So basically, you say you sign up, we onboard you as a client, we start gathering the documents, the initial intake form, I should say. Takes a week, 2 weeks. We start then having calls with, a couple independent attorneys to review your case and the strategy. And then we'll work, it could be 3 months, 4 months on strengthening the criteria. And then we have an internal review. And then we start working on the petition. And then you file, and then your priority date's current. Priority date would port from the EB3 category. So you get approved and then adjust. It's taking about 9 months, and then work and travel authorization 3-4 months for that.
around like a year to 2 years.
I would say for having the actual green card for you guys, 6 plus 9, 15 months, 16 months.
Yeah. Okay.
So we could do the EB1A, and then in parallel, we're doing the buy of the franchise, where you just retain us and you pay us a month, and there's a 2-month commitment, and then we just keep working on it. If continuing on, where you might retain us for 4 months, where we're analyzing and going back and forth, and we're share you initial 5 franchises, and then we show you more. And we're scheduled the calls with the franchisors, the franchisees, and we're basically your advisor throughout the process. And then when we go for the EB5, then you would pay much more. But we could give a discount. Like we could credit the retainer to the fee, and then lower it because doing the EB1A with us. But that includes everything, like the attorney cost, the business plan. Everything needed to obtain the EB5 visa besides the government fee. You would pay the government directly for that.
I think because our ideal plan would be just to like try to get the EB1 and like
Exactly. Yeah.
different from the business, because like 10 people hiring in 2 years, that is not like very optimal for a business, because like when you're starting you are just
Maybe the business, like the healthcare, the senior care businesses, you'll easily have 10 people because you're essentially staffing. So you should have like 20 to 100 depending on the business model and how you grow. I have a client in Southern California. He has 60, like it's been maybe 2 years, 2.5 years. I've met people that a guy interviewed for our channel, Bright Star. He has 300 caregivers, and he's really grown that business. So yeah, that business, like there's some businesses you're gonna have to worry about the employees. It's gonna be like you'll have a lot, and then other ones we have to figure out, like, is it just one location? Is it 2? Or hey, it's 1099 contractors, so EB5 is not a very good fit.
makes sense. I think most probably we would want to go with the EB1 one, and also like finding the franchisee. But yeah, I think we can probably like decide, like talk amongst ourselves, and like
Okay, cool.
I think email would be good, or like just
Yeah, email's good. WhatsApp. Do you want me to send you the contract and everything you would need to start?
great if we can look at like some fine print or stuff.
Cool. So yeah, I'll send that over, and then we could always chat, later in the week. But hopefully, we can start working with you too.
Yeah, because yeah, I think we also want to be like quick because like I
Yeah.
think preferred is the EB1A, like quick about.
That's why I always bring like people come up, every other day. I have an EB5 conversation, but we make more money on EB5, but like I want you to get the result faster. I'm not going to tell you to do something that I want to do. That was my big issue with EB5. I used to work in 2014. I worked in EB5, and that's why I started Visa franchise, because I discovered other Visa options for investors. I discovered the E2. Unfortunately, India doesn't have it, but there were all these people that you could invest 80K and move to the US. They're talking about it in India, which would be sick. But yeah, 80K and you can move. It's a non-immigrant visa, but then after that, you can get a green card different ways. But yeah, so that's the issue with EB5. A lot of people selling as like the only solution, but there's other options out there.
Yeah.
And there's also the conflict with attorneys. There's a lot of attorneys that work just with EB5, or they get referred by the EB5 regional center. So they would never mention the EB1A, which is crazy.
Because I was looking at it and like there is no options for direct EB5 as well online. Like they are all just trying to.
Yeah, it's kind of a bitch. So they don't make as much money because the regional center, like they give the attorney the big template for the I-526. So they have to do the source of funds analysis and client communication. And then that's kind of it. I mean, there's not. So they'll make, 20K plus on that. And it's, I don't know how many hours, less than 10 hours of work. So that's that's $2,000 an hour. That's pretty good business. Where EB5, EB5 direct, you're rolling up your sleeves. It's okay. Let's get the TEA letter. Let's make sure it's eligible. The business plan. Okay. How, what you're going to hire the 10th person in what month. There's just like a lot more, it's a lot harder.
And would it be a good idea to have my LLC registered already? Like if I'm planning to go the franchisee route, or like should I wait?
No, we can do that. We don't charge much at all, and like it's part of the package. So we could do the LLC, IN, business bank account, and just get you all set up with that. It doesn't take much time in Washington State, so.
If we are planning to go through the EB1A route, like is there something like time sensitive that she can like try to get like right away?
Definitely get the publications going, like within a week, 2 weeks, get you the associations to join, the judging competitions. So there's a lot we can get going on like right away.
Okay. Which points from the 10 points will we be targeting, like if we go for our...
We'll collect all the information, and then I basically give the information to my team. They're going to collect a lot more information from you, spend 5-10 hours going through that, and then we'll have a call with a couple of the filing attorneys to decide on the strategy. Where it's okay, definitely let's hit this, let's get support letters for this. Oh, let's try for the judging competitions. So the attorney will really dictate the strategy of like, okay, these two are really solid, this one's okay, and then you got to build some of these other ones through your network.
Cool. Sounds good.
Well, appreciate it, guys. I'll get you everything now, all right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Appreciate it, guys.